Hey everybody, my name is Jenna and I'm going to record a quick sort of warm-up movement practice for me. It will be stretchy and strengthening and about 20 minutes long. So if you're interested in just sort of moving, releasing tension from yesterday or today, then join me and make your way to the mat. Stand with your feet about hip distance apart or even a little bit wider. I like wider, it gives me lots of space for me to root my hips back. This will be a cue that we use often. In this posture, the weight is in the front of my foot, the toe pads and mounds, the knees forward, hips gently back. Lengthen the belly as I rise the ribs away from the hips. There's a tone in the belly, a fullness in the rib cage. Take your breath there. Press the arms forward. Really push them forward, expanding the space between the shoulder blades and the back of the heart. Lift the chin. From here we'll find some movement. Sit the hips back and wide. And then rise the ribs away from the hips, connecting into that length and tone in the belly. And again, hips back. Ribs rise. The chin stays lifted and the eyes look forward. You can see I've made gentle fists with my hands. This allows me to activate into the arms. The arms are active, toned, resisting forward and out to the sides, maintaining that space between the shoulder blades. Connecting breath to movement. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, ground down. Next time you rise up, sweep the hands back to catch the back of the head. This gives us something tactile to press the head into, lifting the chin, and we'll maintain that movement. Gentle sit back, rise up, lengthening the belly. Pressing the head gently back into the hands allows us to keep the throat long, keeping the belly long. Rising through the forearms. Find one more pulse. Sit back and rise up. And then release the arms high. Catch the left wrist with the right hand. Root the hips back. Rise up and arc over to the right. So we're stretching along the left side body. Pulse back, rise up, arc over. You can have a gentle pull of the left wrist with the right hand to facilitate this stretch along the side body. Keep the chin lifted, eyes on the horizon, still moving with your breath. And you'll notice that my arms are slightly forward of my heart, maintaining the space between the shoulder blades at the back. This allows the whole rib cage to stay open, full and expansive. Take one more pulse. Rise up, arc over. And then release the hand, release the wrist, come back through center. Give your ribs a little glide from side to side. And then catch the right wrist with the left hand, root the hips back, rise up and arc over to the left. Opening the space on the right side body now. Chin stays lifted, keep the pulse alive, hips rooting back, ribs rise high, arc up, arc, rise. Pulling the hand over towards the left, just gently. And again here, the arms are forward of the heart, maintaining spaciousness in the ribs on all sides. Find one more pulse. Rise into it. And then release what you've caught. Come back through center and give your ribs a little glide from side to side. Just releasing any tension. Find some stillness. Take your heels in towards center so the toes angle out towards the side. Take a deep squat. The heels rise. The hips root back and wide, maintaining that lower lumbar moving in the whole way down. Release the right hand to the inseam of the right knee. Use this as a resistance as you rise up and arc over through the left. We're just adding a bit of a stretch for the legs. Keep the chin lifted, eyes looking towards your extended hand. Again, I have that fist, a light fist, like you were cupping a butterfly, pressing forward of the heart, activating the arms, keeping spaciousness in the ribs. Switch sides, left hand to the inseam of left thigh, rise up through the right, opening up the right side body, pressing the right arm forward and long. And then come through center, two arms press forward, root the hips back and wide as you rise back up with an open belly, lifted chin. And we'll do that again. Big squat, root the hips back and wide, heels hover, deep seat, release the right hand to the inseam of right thigh, rise up, arc over through the left. We're picking up the space that's underneath the left armpit, rising through the ribs. Chin stays lifted. Little pulses, resisting the left hand away, as if you were pressing into something. And then switch sides. Left fist to the inseam of left leg. Rise up, arc over through the right. Resisting the arm forward and long, rising through the ribs on the right side. And come back through center, two arms forward, root the hips way back, engage into the legs to rise. Take the heels back to neutral, back behind you, feet are parallel towards the top of the mat. Transfer weight to the left foot. Pick up the right to cross the ankle over top of the knee, over top of the thigh. Sit into your seat, cross ankle squat. You can take two hands to the tops of the thighs. Root the hips back wide. Press the thighs away to rise the ribs away from the hips. Keep the chin lifted. There's a deep bend in the standing knee, ground down through the standing toes. You can see I have a pulse. Knee forward, hips back. Pressing the thigh away, lifting the ribs away from the hips, searching for that length and tone again in the belly. Moving with your breath. One more full inhale. Take two arms forward. You're going to step the right foot wide off of the mat. Transfer weight to the right to step the left foot wide off of the mat as well. Take your hands, horseshoe hold to the tops of the thighs, and just glide the legs from side to side. Connecting the toes to the ground or to the mat. Extending through one leg, root the hips back and wide. Keeping a micro bend in the back of the knee. And then switching sides. Moving at your own pace. Keep the heart high, chin lifted. Think about the lower lumbar moving in at the base of the spine, maintaining that natural curvature. weight to the front of the foot, the toe pads and mounds, knees forward, hips way back. Walk the hands down the thighs, extending the legs while maintaining a micro bend in the back of the knee always. So you really have to send the booty back and wide. Keep the heart full and the chin lifted. I'm beginning to feel a stretch in my hamstrings already, but if you need more, you can walk the hands down the shins, or you could take your hands to the block. If you have a block, blocks are handy. So again, the weight is in the paw of the foot. The toe pads and mounds are rooted to the floor, pushing down and out to the side. The knees are hugging external as the hips are rooted back and wide, and I can find a pulse here. Bending and extending through the legs, sending the hips further back, extending through the hamstrings. Super engaged. Lightness in the torso by filling the ribs. Take your breath there. And then wherever you are with your hands, walk them back up. You can take domes to the tops of the thighs, just light fingertips connect to the tops of the thighs. Take a deep breath and exhale. Take your arms forward of the heart, press the hands away, broaden through the back heart, transfer weight to the left to pick up the right and step the foot back onto the mat. And we'll do the same, transfer weight to the right, pick up the left to step the foot back onto the mat. You can find a gentle glide of the ribs from side to side, or a good shake it out, whatever you need right now to reset, and we'll do the other side. Take your arms forward. Transfer weight to the right foot. Pick up the left, cross the ankle over top of the thigh. Sit into your seat, hips root back and wide, cross ankle squat. You can take your hands to the tops of the thighs. Using those light fists, press the thighs away to lift the ribs away from the hips. Lift the chin. Connecting through the toes to the mat. Deep bend in the standing knee allows us to root the hips way back and wide. I feel this in my booty, big time. Might have a bit of a shaky leg as you build up those stabilizing muscles. Stay with it. You can find a pulse if that serves you. Knee forward, hips back, heart high, chin lifted. Last inhale. Exhale. Hands forward. We'll step the left foot wide off of the mat. Transfer weight to the left. Pick up the right to step it wide. Horseshoe hold to the tops of the thighs. Come with me for shoulder dips. Right shoulder dips towards the left. Hips root back and wide. There's length in the belly as the ribs pull forward. Other side, left shoulder to the right. Toes connected. Knees hugging external. Legs are engaged. From right shoulder to the left. From left shoulder to the right. You can move at your own pace. Stay where you want to stay and move when you want to move. The next stop is a twist. We'll take right hand to the outside edge of left thigh. Take the left hand back behind. You can place it to the base of your spine and give yourself a gentle twist using the connection of the right hand to the outside edge of the thigh, or if you have the space, you can creep your left hand all the way around to catch the inseam of the right thigh. Keep length in the belly, hips rooted back and wide, chin lifted. And again, you can find a pulse. Sit the hips back and then reach the ribs away from the hips. Release what you've caught. Take hands back to the tops of the thighs. Neutralize the spine. Give yourself a little shake, a little wiggle, and glide the ribs from side to side, or wiggle your hips, whatever. And then we'll bind the other way, left hand to the outside edge of right thigh. Right hand can catch behind the base of the spine. Gentle pulse, hips back, ribs rise. Or you can reach all the way around to catch the inseam of the left thigh. Connecting your breath with your pulse. Find one more full inhale. Exhale, release what you've caught. Come back through center. Transfer weight to the front of the foot. Bend into the knees, deep squat. Root the hips way back and wide. Take your hands into domes, so like you're holding a tennis ball or something. And take the fingertips to the mat. Plant the hands down to step the feet back. So you're now on hands and feet. Hands are about as wide as the mat, feet are about as wide as the mat, and you're making this shape like you were about to run like an animal on all fours. You know, we've all played with this. From this position, you can find some movement, root the hips back, up and wide, and then press the mat away, fill into the space between the shoulder blades, chin lifted, heart comes forward, root the hips back, and then pull the ribs away in opposition. So this becomes a bit of a tug of war between your hips and your ribs. Again, looking for that length and pull in the belly. Your heels can drag back towards the mat as the ribs pull forward, extending through the back line of the leg. This is strong, guys. Wiggle your hips, find some movement. And then narrow your knees to lower the knees to the mat. Untuck the toes so that the top of the foot presses gently into the mat. Drag it back towards the knees. Feel how this connects into your bum to root the hips back and wide behind you. And then press the mat away with the hands and pull the ribs forward. Again, tug of war, rooting the hips back and wide using the connection of the top of the foot to the mat. And then pressing the palms into the mat. Gentle drag back towards the knees pulls the ribs forward. Maintaining the space between the shoulder blades, so we're not collapsing in the back of the heart. A collapse would be when the shoulder blades come together on the back of the heart like this, and it doesn't feel very good in the base of my spine. But push the mat away, find fullness in the whole rib cage, and then it allows the base of my spine to dip in just in its natural curvature towards my glutes. Glutes mount up to support the natural curvature of the spine. And then let it go, find some barrel rolls, big circular motion of the rib cage in one direction. Just finding movement in the spine. And then switch your roll to go the other direction. undulation of the spine. Root the hips way back and wide. Take the heart towards the mat. And then press the mat away and ripple the spine forward like a wave. You can tuck the chin to the chest and then peel it open when you come forward. And again, draw the hips back. Press the mat away to ripple forward like a wave. Find whatever movements you need here, maximum range of motion of the spine. Gliding the ribs side to side. And then take your heart forward, back to all fours. Take your heels together, touch the toes behind you. Sit the hips back towards the heels. Widen the knees for a wide-legged child's pose. Take the heart and the forearms towards the mat. Rest the forehead on the mat. And release. Take a couple moments to breathe and pause. And then feel free to add any movements that you may need to complete your morning warm-up, or afternoon in my case. And that's it. Thank you for joining me.